Hello there, server from 17 once again. This is my Devil May Cry 4 Dante Must Die Triple S rank video walkthrough. This is mission 12, A New Beginning. We're playing as the infamous Dante, the man who these games were made for, who is somehow like a lackey in this one, who you barely play as. And this is this is the first time I've touched Dante in a very long time on this game. Which is to say, you're going to see some of the rustiest, most lackadaisical gameplay you've probably ever seen getting SSS ranks on Dante Must Die. On the good side, it should inspire those who perhaps don't feel too confident with the game or this difficulty to do it and be able to succeed. And then on the other hand, it's going to probably frustrate some people who are very good Dante players in this game. So the thing to know about Dante in this game compared to the previous ones is he's a little bit simpler, but he's also a little bit more complicated. So what do I mean by this? So the complicated part is you now have access to all of the styles at the same time, which is not what you had in the previous games, which gives you this fantastic ability, which I am absolutely horrible at, of swapping between the styles on the fly to do crazy combos and to complement your gameplay. The reason he's more simple than he was before is the styles have less moves. They don't have all the moves that were in the past game, which is one of my biggest criticisms of Dante in this game. I couldn't understand why they don't exist, because it might have been completely overbearing, but these games have always kind of been completely overbearing. It's kind of the point. And that's what always separated the good players from the bad, is the ones who were able to cognitively recognise everything they could use and then use it interestingly. Which is not what you're going to see here. Because I was never very good at swapping styles. I actually quite like the fact that you commit to styles on the third game, because I think it gave it like a, I wouldn't say balance, but it made it unique. You know, there were people who would use Royal Guard and wreck things, there were people who would use Trickster and do insanely acrobatic things, and then there were those who used Swordmaster to do just majestic things. On this game, you're either one of those people that can swap between the styles, or you're not. And I recommend practicing it if you want to get good, because it's super useful. Like the ability to quickly swap to Trickster and get out of the range of some attacks that have big AoEs is insanely powerful. And it's something that if I was interested in getting better at this game, or at least getting back to even half as good as I used to be, I would do that, and I would practice that, because I use it I think once against Burial, and it's insanely powerful. But you're not going to see too much of that. So the basics of Dante here. I think Swordmaster is the best one, because it's the stuff I used to do in the previous Devil May Cry. I think the Darkslayer is interesting, but I'd forgotten really how to use it. I'd forgotten how to do a lot of the moves. I assume it's, lock on back and B, lock on forward and B, and things like that. But believe it or not, I couldn't remember how to get to it until a couple missions after this one. And the simplest answer to that is you press the style button in the same direction more than once, and it puts you into the Darkslayer style. Gunslinger is good for Pandora's box and using Pandora stuff. It's also useful for doing things like this, but I'm going to fuck this up, so watch this. I tried to skip this fight, which can be done. It can be done quite easily, but I don't do it. I'm like, come on, what is this shit? Because I know if I don't do that, I have to fight a bunch of Frosts, and the Frosts with Dante can be hit and miss for me. My strategy with them is simple. I use Prop Shredder to knock them up with Gunslinger, with Swordmaster and Rebellion, and then I do a Devil Trigger Distorted Real Impact with Gilgamesh, and it kills them instantly, and then you can move on to the next guy. You might not see that here though, because apparently I'm not doing it. So he got some crazy armor on his attack, which I couldn't interrupt with the Prop Shredder. That guy's attacking me as I'm trying to Prop Shred, and then I get hit. Like I say, folks, this is going to be some rough times, but I will get a little bit more used to Dante. So there's the prop, there's the Distorted Real Impact, there's a Dead Frost. And if you can keep doing that, it's incredibly effective. It's not very fun to watch, but it's it gets the job done, and that's exactly what this is going to be. There's the Helm Splitter to stop him from jumping. That was an attempt at a real impact, but I got interrupted because the frosts are very quick. That was a drive to see if it would knock them back. It didn't knock them back. I'm also going to press the wrong button to evade, you might see. I kept pressing the triggers, because the triggers evade in Wonderful 101, and that's what I was playing a lot of when I was recording this. So yeah, it's a bit of a massacre, but never fear. We will get through this. And I do think that Dante is tough to use on this game, and I don't know why. I've never really understood why I find him so tricky to use. I don't know if it's the enemies, I don't know what it is, I don't know if it's some kind of crazy placebo mentality, but put me on Devil May Cry 3, and after about 10 minutes it feels like an old favourite, it feels like I'm back on track. Put me on this game and no, it just takes me a long time. Like there's a few things as well that work against anybody who is I would categorise myself as a Devil May Cry 3 player. One of the things that irritates me to death is the fact that you can carry all your weapons. As cool as it is, the fact you can have them all rather than choosing, it means that you have to cycle through them even more than you did before, and I forget that sometimes, and it bites me in the arse. Like, there's a lot of awesome things they did, giving you all the weapons at the same time, giving you all the styles. Like, if that was in Devil May Cry 3, that game would be insane. But instead it's in this one, and I don't know if it suits it as much. I don't know. I guess I've never really given it too much thought. I think this is a game made for Nero, I really do. I kind of always have. But these are the Mephistos, the people I couldn't remember the name of. What I'm doing here is I'm seeing how much the Chaos Gorge with Pandora's Box fills up, because there's a lot of situations you can make very simple with Pandora's Box just using that move. That was a terrible evade by me. This is a big move, which... I've been playing as Virgil on Devil May Cry 3, and I completely forgot he doesn't have air hike. He has that weird move that's essentially trick up, and the adjustment period on that is crazy. But the way I fight these enemies is the way I've always fought them. I jump cancel shotgun blasts into the face until they drop out of the cloak, and then I either distorted real impact them, or I try to hit them with some moves. A quick way and easy way of building style in this game is to use the rave move. I forget the name of it. It's lock on and towards the enemy and B, and keep on pressing it. And what he does is he launches into this preset combo, which finishes with this massive baseball bat swing that gives you a lot of style points. And because the combo is so big and it's so multi-hit, you can effectively spam it without deteriorating how many points it gives you. And it's a really easy way of stacking your stylish ranking. Don't get me wrong, is it boring to watch somebody repeatedly do it? Probably. But is it effective? Hell yes. And in this video, like, this is the first time I've used Dante since the game came out. And I have no idea why I'm so shit with him. Because he plays kind of like he did in 3, but there's just something about this Dante that kicks my ass. So the time limit here is always going to be generous. Time limits on these levels, it's only the Sanctus fight that even remotely stumped me with time limit. That's my phone. Everything else was orbs. But here are the Angelos. So the Angelos are pretty simple with Dante, but once again I'm going to show you just how tricky they can seem if you play poorly. And I can't even begin to tell you how alien this game felt when I came back to it. Because I had a break between doing Nero and Dante's segments. You can't tell, can you? And mainly because I got Wonderful 101. And I've been playing a lot of that game. But the last time I played that game, it really frustrated me, and I haven't played it since. So I need to get back on the horse. Because I think the game is fantastic, but there are moments in it that I feel really strange towards. And the strategy here is the same as Nero. Get behind them and punish them. You can do so much more though with Dante because he has a shit ton more moves. I'm still going to just use distorted real impacts to speed things up because it's amazing. But I'll explain what I mean when I said Wonderful 101 sometimes frustrates me. So there's an enemy on the game that is this really big dude. Super huge dude, actually. And the strategy to fight him, it seems, is to hit him with the sword to kind of make him guard. And then while you're doing that, combo him to build your combo, and eventually his sword will break, or you'll get behind him, or you'll use the hero time to get some slow-mo to deal some damage. And this entire time, you're hitting this dude. I just feel like there must be a better way to beat him. And I'm beating him, I'm doing fine, but it seems to take really long. And at the end of it, I'm a little bummed because I feel like I'm playing shit and I'm not. You know, I feel like there's something I don't understand. I feel like there's something I'm missing. I feel like there's some trick and I'm just not seeing it. And then I get to the ranking screen and I get a pure platinum. On the hardest difficulty. But I just don't feel good about it because I feel like it took forever to do. And the moment you notice how long something's taking to die, I think there's a problem. And it happens with a few enemies on this game. For the most, it's fine. I have no issue at all. But there's a crab enemy. There's a giant crab enemy, I should say, who you stun him, he stands up, you chop his legs off, and then you open his back. Once you open his back with the claws, you attack his weak point. And it just seems to take too long. Like, how the hell can I do this any faster? I'm using 100 wonderful ones in the hammer to do one of the most damaging 360 moves on the game, and it's still taking forever to kill this dude. And then at the end of it, I get the best rank in the game, but I just feel like it was 2 minutes too slow. So I don't even feel like I've earned it, and I feel like I'm missing something when perhaps I'm not. And the thing with the Wonderful 101 is, when you go online and you look at people doing the game, it's all people who have all the bonus Wonderful ones, which I don't have any of, because they're insanely difficult to unlock. So they're doing moves that I've never even seen. And these moves are incredibly powerful and super OP and destroying everything really quickly, which doesn't really help you if you don't have them. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, why don't you get them? And to unlock extra characters on that game, what you do is, there's like 5 requirements. 4 of the requirements are generally stuff like, jump 10 times, you know, attack an enemy, you know, press the pause button. And then the last one is, you know, cure cancer, AIDS, and go back in time and prevent Hitler. It's just completely blown out of perspective, one of the requirements. Like, one of them is, I think, you know, 4 completely arbitrary, silly, simple things, and then get a platinum on every single level. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And they don't tell you that what these requirements are. They just, you know, expect you to stumble on them somehow, which, for the most, some of them are easy to do, but some of them just really aren't. And I was looking on GameFAQs, and they're all the same. Like, you know, kill 5 of these enemies, kill someone with a sword, kill someone with a whip, kill someone with a hammer, kill 1,000,000 enemies. Like, what? Like, who gets these things? It's... By the time I unlock these people, I'm going to be done with the game. And they look really powerful, though. And I'll never understand games hiding content behind insane requirements. I always think it's selling the consumer short. It's adding a lot of replay value, but sometimes there's replay value and then there's just ridiculous things. But that's the end of our first interlude into using Dante. It's not a graceful SSS rank, but hopefully in time we'll get a little sharper and we'll make it look a little bit more interesting. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.